on where you were dropped off, and since you guys have a map, you would know that it's roughly 3 days. So is there anything in those 3 days that you would like to discuss, work on, talk about, figure out, or accomplish?
Okay, I got all my.
If there's nothing, then I can just keep going. But I want to give you the opportunity to at least.
Yeah, I think the only thing, just like I have written down that I was spending time with the navigator, just to try to get myself.
On the ship, you were able to. I mean, you were able to help out. You're not proficient by any stretch of the imagination, but if you were to acquire your own boat, you would have the best chance of being able to just, as long as you had a map, be able to figure out alignment with maybe the moon and the sun, not so much the stars yet.
Okay. Or at least know direction and know, like, that's, like...
Roughly.
Yeah, that's...
You'd probably, if you were to just set sail right now and just go into the ocean, you'd probably get lost a number of times, but you'd be able to pick it back up each day.
I would like to do one thing. The first day of travel, I would like to not be near the cart when I do this, but I wanted to test a theory, and I want to take the Arcanoloth dagger.
Okay.
And I want to try to just like the gems that are when Sim was messing with the gems.
Yes.
Did he try to remove a brightly colored one or a dim one?
He tried to remove one of the dim ones.
Oh. Okay. Yep, nope, didn't.
You're good. If it was the other way around, were you going to try to remove a dim one?
I was going to see what would happen, yeah.
Sure. No, he tried to remove a dormant crystal. It was cracked and whatnot. He was going to pluck it out to see what it was, and there was that large explosion. So.
Oh, okay.
The Arcanoloth dagger only has, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, 2 left. Yeah. Okay. So,
I would say the only thing that like Barrow would be doing is every once in a while the party will maybe notice that he goes off on his own for a little bit. He's not trying to like hide what he's doing. It's more just I'm going off by myself and I'm sitting by myself and talking. So
commuting.
Yeah.
Very good. So there's an obvious. I don't know if you would be able to go. Can you both make insight checks for me?
That'd be you.
I am not paying very much attention.
Neither of you. You just see him going off and having a brief meditation for whatever purpose or reason it may be. You do know that there is a newfound connection with holy magic that Barrow has been using, if nothing else. Hadvar, you would know this specifically because this is something that you've admired in your training in the past, because you'd never had that connection. You went with the arcane magic route. You're starting to see a lot of this holy magic start to embed itself in Barrow's kind of combat regimen somehow. So, but another 3 days journey puts you within sight of the dwarven capital of Battleborn. Now you saw the mountain range far before that you saw the city, but once you get close enough, you can see the great fortress where the dwarven monarchy sits. Palor's wall, the mountain range, supports the dozens of spires reaching up, scaling up the rock face. The city sits in a 5-tiered system from bottom all the way up to the mountain peaks, each separated by what you would assume is about a 50-foot wall. So there's one at the bottom, 50-foot wall. As it goes up the mountain, there's another 50-foot wall. Goes up the mountain, another 50-foot wall, and there's 5 of those. The large 40-foot doors each of which have an elaborately detailed sculpture of two dwarven guards holding upside-down warhammers where the head rests at their feet, appear closed for the moment. The view is absolutely breathtaking and at the same time concerning, as a large transparent amethyst dome covers the entirety of the city and the mountain. The walls have ballista on top and cannons about halfway up, and the doors, again, they're shut, and each of the doors on the 5-tiered system have these two dwarven guards that are etched into the stone face, just for elaborate decoration. But
Okay,
you see this,
they're larger than normal dwarves, or these are...
they're 40-foot doors. The whole door is made out of this dwarf.
Oh, okay, so the dwarf statues are actually embedded in the door.
Yeah, like the stone door is actually carved on the face of it to have like a dwarf standing guard.
I misunderstood. I thought that they were beside the doors.
Nope, they are the doors, more or less. And there's a little space on either side of them where like the doors would actually connect. And again, there's 5 of them. Now, when you look up at the top of the mountain, it's hard to see because the clouds are starting to cover a lot of it. The fog is rolling in. It's nighttime by the time you get there this evening. Close to nighttime. Sunset. But the topmost tier, what you can barely make out is that the 5th wall is stretching up and there's almost nothing above it. It looks as though the top tier recedes into the mountaintops and is actually housed within the mountain as opposed to sitting on the outside of the mountain. A very like Minas Tirith kind of look to this city, except it's actually tiered off pretty dramatically and it's a lot wider.
Okay.
But there is this amethyst translucent dome that just sits over the entirety of the city, of this arcane forest, this bubble that just kind of encapsulates the whole thing.
Do I definitely recognize this as arcane? Can I look at this and see if
you would know it's magic? It's not natural in any regard.
Okay.
But if you guys want to approach closer to it, you can.
You said then there's a dome over top of it?
The whole city is in this arcane dome.
Okay.
It's like this translucent amethyst color.
How far are we from it?
As far as you'd like to be. You can be 5 miles away. You can be 500 feet away.
What about 5 feet away?
You can be 5. If you want to walk up, that's fine. Victor Bean is going to chime in. I don't feel too great about walking into something without knowing a little more about what's going on inside.
I'm going to take my longsword and just tap the amethyst.
So as you take your sword and it drifts through, and as you try to pull it back, it's stuck.
I'm glad I used my longsword.
So you're holding it, and you pull with all of your might, and with your giant with your giant belt, you're still having a hard time wrenching your sword free. It's
what
stuck.
If I let go of it?
If you let go, it swings into the dome and sits on the ground inside.
Does it it swung as if it was like
on a fulcrum point? So like if the sword was here, it swung as if it was being held by that fulcrum point, and as soon as it passed into the dome, it fell and clattered to the ground inside.
The focal point was that. Where was that on the sword? How far did my sword
far you pushed the sword in before you tried to pull it back out.
Oh, so it was no resistance going in, but the moment I tried to pull it out, is where it created that point.
Yep.
And then.
Yep. So you learn that for however far you're going to put something in, no issue, but it's not coming back out. And you saw the sword drop, and it's on the other side of this dome. And a point of order: this dome sits the edge of this dome sits a good 100 feet from the city walls.
Can I try to dig out a little bit? in front of the dome?
Dig in the ground?
Yeah. I want to see if the dome goes under the ground.
Sure. You start digging. Do either of you two want to try anything while he's doing that?
I'm just gonna send my owl. I'm just gonna set Kit around, just inconspicuous, just to see if there's guards, just to see if there's some sort of military round sniper that we don't see.
Make a perception check.
Is she doing this inside or outside of the dome?
I would assume outside for now,
Outside.
because you can see through it, and if the owl goes up, it can still careen over the dome as high up as she wants it to look into the city. Now, granted, the first tier is a good 5 miles before the next wall sits.
And what color is the dome?
Like amethyst, like this weird purpley, like light faded violet purple.
And I forget, did you say that it goes the whole way up to the 5th level?
It goes past the mountaintop. It is entirely encasing the city.
And it's encasing all 5 layers, or 5
tiers, layers, whatever you want to. Yeah.
I'm sure that's nothing. I got a 4 and a 5 without mods, without modifier. So.
Okay. Well, Kit goes up, and with it being sunset, you can actually see torchlight in the city. Oddly enough, for how big the city is and how populated it should be, there's virtually no one in the streets. There's almost no activity whatsoever. The only thing Kit can see is periodically maybe a group of people led by torchlight moving throughout some of the streets at a slower pace. And Kit comes back down.
I don't think anyone's really. Doesn't seem like anyone's helped.
Huh.
Yeah, but it's like sunset. It's not like it's the middle of the night. Why aren't...
Does it seem like this is an illusion to me? Like, does it seem like
the dope?
Yeah, like me looking in.
Oh, like to see on the other side if there's an illusion? I would say now context clues here, because you saw Hadvar with his sword, and then he let go, and you can still see that sword there. So you can feel pretty confident that at least the first so many feet may not be an illusion, because you saw the sword enter, fall, and it's still sitting there, just as it would if there was no wall.
Mm-hmm.
You can make an Arcana check to try and maybe figure something else out about it, or if you want to detect magic to get what kind of school it may be, or I don't know what spells you have that might be able to aid you, but if you want to try something, feel free.
I mean, I have the ritual spells of detect magic, so I can sit and I can use my book and just detect.
Okay. Hadvar's still digging. I'm assuming you're using your hands, because I don't think you have a spade. So it's going to take you a little longer. Again, you could just probably punch the ground and cause craters, so there's that too.
We try not to make too much noise.
Oh, I might actually. I have a Dungeoneer's pack.
Oh, like a pickaxe, maybe? Barrow, is there anything that you would like to do while Amora is doing her ritual and Hadvar continues to dig? How deep do you want to go, Hadvar, before I just let you, like dig to the point where you can't get out?
No, I'm honestly just trying to go down further and see if it goes down.
Just to see if it continues.
If it goes past the
other
surface.
side of the planet. I've been to this side of Greg before.
Yeah. It does. You dig down maybe a foot, and it's still there. That shimmer is still there.
Okay. I guess I should have expected that.
You didn't know.
It wasn't going to be that easy.
I'm
just going to dig underneath.
I would say Barrow is not looking toward the city. He's
looking way out.
He's pretty weirded out, and he wants to make sure that the group isn't going to get bum rushed or whatever. So,
perception check.
Just want to. All right. That is 26.
You see nothing. Definitively nothing.
Can I shoot a firebolt at the ground?
Oh gosh. Ball? Bolt.
Bolt. He said
Bolt.
bolt. let me get to Amora's. She's just
Okay.
about done.
Sorry.
You know that this is an abjuration spell. And it exudes some connotation of necromancy. It is not magic you're familiar with.
I was thinking about doing something, but I'm not going to do it.
So you throw a firebolt at...
Like the ground just on the other side of it. I just want to see if my magic goes through it the same as the...
It does. You throw the firebolt and it goes... It makes this little thump noise. And you... It's a little muffled. And I should have said this for your sword too. It's a muffled sound when it hits the dirt. And you see the shower of dirt on the other side and singed grass.
And the dirt doesn't, like, the dust doesn't smolder back up, like when it hits it, it doesn't come back over the, what you call it?
No, if you want to like try to careen it so that it maybe would effectively splash dirt on the other side, like go in and see if you can splash it. You do that, you get to an angle where you like kind of sidearm it and it skids and hits, and you can see the dirt kind of clatter against it. And you see these little like ripple effects when the dirt specks hit the shield, and it's like blip, 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 and it patters onto the city side still. It does not penetrate.
All right.
All right. I'm gonna pet my owl.
And jump through.
And I'm gonna tell him I'm really sorry if this doesn't work. Send my owl through the...
Do you want him to fly or kind of like do his little like hoppy beep boop beep up?
Avoid the hole.
Okay.
Bar.
And he beep up beep bump beep bump bump, and he thump. He goes in. You see him.
No,
And he does the head 180. And he just like looks at you. You see him like do a little shoulder like.
Okay. Yeah, but he doesn't look. He doesn't get hurt. He doesn't look hurt. He's not.
He looks fine.
Can he come back?
So I'll have him try to walk. Like I'm gonna call him just to hop towards me.
Beep it up, boop, beep it up, bump, bump, flunk, and he hits the wall.
Okay.
Not hard. I mean, I'm not gonna kill your owl. But, you know, funk, and he kind of like flutters his wings a little bit, and he pecks at it, and beep, his little like vertical beak trying to get through, and you can see like little sparks and ripples coming off of where he's.
So if I try to put him into my pocket dimension,
it does not work.
Okay. So it's a magic. It prevents.
Can you see through his eyes?
So I try to see through his eyes.
So you become blind and deaf, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can hear from Kit's perspective, correct?
Yes.
You do so.
Hello.
You can hear a muffled hello from Hadvar from Kit's perspective.
Hello.
You can see yourself waving. And as you try to rescind yourself back into your own body, you cannot.
Cool.
So you're standing there blind and deaf. You kind of just go, oh. And Kit starts walking around, feeling your anxiety. He starts getting restless and he starts fluttering around. And as he turns and looks around, he looks up at the walls and he can see these cannons halfway up. And he can see the ballista all the way at the top. And none of them are manned. There's no one on the outside of this wall. There's no one on the top of this wall. There's no one near the doors.
Huh. Well, guys, and she can still speak, right? Okay.
Okay. I can't get out. I can't get out. I can't get out.
All right. Well, there's really only one option here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and guide her through, and I'm just gonna take a step through the amethyst and be like, "You coming?" As I just.
Scythe starts to move forward and like looks back at you, Barrow,
Uh,
and he sits at the edge of the barrier.
yeah. Hang on a second here.
I will say when you guys went through, there was a very a cold sensation. Almost when you get like a chill, when something feels really good, you get that whole body chill. It's the exact opposite.
Oh.
it's the exact opposite. Like something almost, it's almost like a needle going into the base of your neck, into your spine, and you feel a chill just go through your entire body.
This is how it ends. We're stuck.
So Barrow's like, is this what we're supposed to be doing?
Knock, 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 knock.
I feel like this.
Can I try to message to him through the other side of the wall and say, jump on in, water's fine.
Barrow, you hear nothing.
But you don't know that.
You see Hadvar try to cast the spell towards you and speak to you, and where you would typically have that telepathic connection, there's nothing.
And I'm not getting any response from someone else.
Do you carry a symbol?
I don't know. We never discussed that.
I would say you would have to. At some point in time, you would probably have.
Would you have gotten something from the temple? No.
I would say you would have something small. Maybe like a circular medallion, like a Mortal Kombat medallion, but not the Mortal Kombat logo. But like one of those little circular medallions. And as it hangs from your belt, you can feel a warmth from it.
All right.
What that means, you're not sure if it's trying to tell you something or suggest something or confirm something. It's just it's a response.
Vanilla?
Well, they all gotten themselves through already. I'd say we'd be in quite a pickle if we stayed out here. Not much help to them, so partner. And he walks through.
All right. Siphon up
You hear him
water.
muffled on the other side. Boy, that didn't feel so good, but I feel okay. I feel like, and he starts choking and like spasms on the ground for about 5 seconds, and he goes, "Nah, I'm just kidding."
Hadvar's got like his sword in his.
Oh my God!
She's so upset right now.
Shelmore just starts crying. You see Kit start flapping around. Oh my God! You gotta have a little fun every once in a while when things are so serious.
So now that we're in here, I'm gonna cast Create Bonfire. I just want to see if I'm able to actually cast a spell since I'm in.
Is that a spell slot or is that a cantrip?
That's a cantrip.
You cast Create Bonfire. You have a 5-foot square of fire, and it appears and seems to work fine.
All right, Bean. Seems like you'll be useful yet.
I reckon I might. And he starts plucking away on his banjo.
We're not really wanting to introduce or let people know that we're here yet, right?
You mean you don't want a fanfare? All right,
Yeah. No.
and he puts the banjo back.
All right, I snap the bonfire away.
Okay. There you are through with Scythe then, yes?
Wait, what?
I thought you were gonna say you snap his banjo. And I was like,
No.
So I'd like to send Sega up over the first wall. You just kind of like plop up there and.
Yep. You snap him 30 feet away above you. He catches himself in the air and he flaps his way up to the wall and perches on one of the ballista there. And he peers into the city. Go ahead and roll a perception check.
Wait,
With advantage?
Why do I remember another character name? We've been so
Atari. It's Atari.
Oh,
This
sorry,
game-
wrong game system.
I was like, wait a minute. Has it really been that long?
I couldn't remember. Sega's from I do it all the time. My last one was Switch.
That's a good name though. I like that.
Yeah. Is that with advantage because it's his?
Because it's an owl, yeah.
Okay.
Natural 20. Let's get him out of the way now.
So he looks into the city and it is completely vacant. The sun is now set. It's becoming darker. You can see torchlight at several lantern points throughout the city. You have a pretty good vantage point to be able to look. Now, the city has a slow increase, so it's hard to see too much of it. But if you wanted, he could fly up and he can look around and this, that, and the other. That's fine. He doesn't see any activity. Nobody's outside. Nobody's walking around. This first tier seems lifeless.
You said there's no guards, no.
Atari doesn't see any in this first tier. No.
Question: the dwarves.
Dwarf.
Thank you.
Dwarf.
Do they look generic dwarven, or do they look like especially carved dwarves into the door?
So in this world, a lot of the dwarves have different features and skin tones depending on the region that they're from. There's nothing overtly glaringly different than these dwarves, but they are akin to this region. There's nothing.
But there's nothing to like say that this is this dwarf of this clan of this.
Like
Okay.
Graic. Like we're not seeing the same.
No, it's very neutral features. It's very symmetrical. It's just
Did you say Greg?
Graic.
Yeah, Greg.
Yes,
Like the dwarf Garrick.
Graic.
Greg. From
What
Sneak
are you
Attack.
getting at?
From Sneak Attack?
That's where I got the name. Yeah, that's the name of the world. That's the dwarf that is the primordial head that saved the world in the first age.
That's the.
Yeah,
that's
we
the-
fought
just
his
fought him,
statue, and
and we
he
were.
infused all of our shit with magic, and that was Graic.
Greg Stonehammer. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Didn't mean to derail us.
Yeah, I
was
stole
just
that.
Like,
So what? Yeah, I stole the name. So what?
I really like him. I like his
Yeah,
character.
that's why I
All right.
was. Me too.
All right.
He's great.
Yeah, he's hilarious. Okay, so do I see any doorknobs or bells, whistles, latches?
There is a mechanism that opens the door. It looks like it would have to be pulled by several people in order to open it.
Is
There's
that-
a pulley system of some kind, ropes, tethers.
That's what I
wait.
see, or that's what Atari sees?
That's what Atari sees.
Oh, what do I see from my side?
A large door, a 40-foot door,
Hmm.
in between a 50-foot wall.
I knock on the door.
It hurts because it's stone.
It's a stone door?
They're stone. They're
Oh.
completely stone.
Oh,
You,
okay.
you can tell that a lot of it has been resourced from the mountain. It's the same color palette. It's these darker blues and grays.
Okay.
Is there any like discernible markings or
Signs.
words or anything?
Make an investigation check.
$17.
15.
There is one what do you call them?
Placard.
Thank you. There's a placard about 30 feet off to the side with the name, 2 names. King Aoden Battleborn, Queen Chera Battleborn. Notably, the queen's name has been defaced.
Really?
Yes.
I look over at Bean.
Miss.
Is this your doing?
No, I've not come here. Too many paladins for my liking in Battleborn.
So we're
They
gonna
don't seem
get
to be.
arrested with you
They don't
being
seem to be out and about anymore. I'm not sure what's going on here. Usually the city's quite busy. Good for business, not for me though.
Are you also in trouble here? Should we know anything before we?
Not to my knowledge, but word gets around. You never know. Hopefully not.
Well, they seem to be in their own little world.
Do you know anything about this Queen Chara? Chiara?
Yeah. Well, those two have been ruling for centuries now. About 3 centuries. They've been sitting on the throne. Seem to run a good business here. Their monarchy, not too much trouble. They really took under their wing the Paladin Order of Bahamut. Not my favorite, but seems to work for them. Their Paladin Order and the Guard work together very closely. People seem to like them. I don't. Not really one for the authority types.
Fair enough. Do you remember, like, in any time that you were here, anybody that didn't like the Queen?
Oh, I'd never been here, but no, everyone seemed to like both of them equally. They ruled together. They no children, which I thought was odd, but they've been here for their whole lives, and they've been ruling for 300 plus years, and seem to get along fine with the people. You know, very productive city. They're wealthy.
Could I send Atari back and forth the wall? I want to scan the wall for anything that looks out of the ordinary.
I'll allow you to continue to use that as your perception check from the previous. You got a natural 20, correct?
Yeah.
As he flies to the side, now the city is about 5 miles deep for each tier. It's a very large depth to the city. As far as it is wide, it's about 10 miles total. So it also goes 5 from where the doors are, 5 miles to either side and back. So it's a larger city, ultimately. The tiers, however, expand as they go up. So you surmise maybe the second tier is about, instead of being 10 miles wide, maybe it's about 20. And the third tier maybe is about 30 miles wide. The fourth tier may be about 60 miles wide. However, the top tier rescinds into the mountaintop, and you can see that it's built into the mountain face for added protection or for grandeur of any kind, but you can see that top tier for however long the mountain range is.
And you
So this place is ridiculously big.
It's the main city of the dwarves. Yeah.
So for us to get in between the tiers, is there doors or is it a lock in between?
Each tier has a 50-foot wall with those 40-foot doors that can open to the next tier.
I think we should.
I will say with your natural 20, and for however long you allow him to go, I've rolled my perception checks to see if anybody sees him. He does see roving bands. Now that the night is starting to wane, you guys are spending some time out here. The sun is gone, the moon is risen. It's maybe 7 p.m. And it's nighttime. You can see pockets of guards, maybe 5 at a time, all carrying torchlight, moving slowly through the city, just on a random patrol. And it is the only activity that has even been remotely present in any of the first 2 tiers. I'll give you that much at least.
So they're traveling
the wall itself, though. Oh,
sorry. Go ahead.
I was just asking, like, what about the wall itself? Like, anything out of the ordinary with the wall? Like,
the main thing that's out of ordinary is that it's vacant. A city of this caliber, this size, and this prominence, and this importance would be heavily guarded, and it's vacant. There's nobody there.
So I'm actually kind of like looking for a way to get over the wall, like something like the 50-foot wall in front of us. Like,
You would be able to find. Atari would eventually be able to find perhaps rope that would be long enough to drape down the other side of the wall.
I have 95 feet of rope.
Yeah, I have 50 feet.
It's just a matter of securing it. If you know, Atari can find something for it to hook onto or whatever the case may be.
Okay.
That I had a grappling hook.
I think you lost it when we were in that.
Oh, that's right.
The bridge fight.
Yeah. So,
you said that these guard patrols, they're traveling 5, like in a group of 5?
Groups of 2, groups of no more than 5 at a time. But there are groups of them that are patrolling at a slow pace throughout the city, just absent-mindedly walking. They don't seem to notice Atari, thankfully. They're pretty spaced out. It gives this air of like a military occupation feel almost, where, you know, like maybe like a North Korean communist country where there's like a curfew and like there's only military activity out right now.
Do they look dwarven?
Most, I would say most. They're not all dwarven, but most of them are, and they are uniformed.
All right, I'm gonna actually bring Atari back, and having seen all this and getting this idea, I would kind of recognize a military occupation more or less. I would, and I could see that there's still structure here, some sort of military structure amongst these guards. They don't look like they're just kind of just putzing about. They actually look like they're
there is a
they're on guard.
Yes.
Okay.
Active duty.
Well, in that case, I'm going to suggest to the rest of the group that we make camp right outside the door and try to not try to not pose a threat. Like, maybe they're closed down for the night. Maybe we can wait until morning and see if somebody opens these gates. Because I would really hate to scale a wall in the middle of a night in an occupied city, and our first impression is a bad one.
How comfortable are you? How close would you allow Atari to get to these patrols? Would you be willing to risk being seen, or would you want to keep at a safe distance?
I mean, Atari just appears to be an owl.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're in a dome where there's no other sound of life.
Hadvar, I think.
Hang on. I want him to answer that question because there's a very important piece of information depending on that answer.
I have your answer as soon as I read how this spell works.
Okay. It's about to happen.
Okay. Question.
Sorry,
Yeah.
guys.
Find Familiar allows me to cast. Oh shoot! It's a touch spell, isn't it? Okay, never mind. I was gonna try to cast message through Atari, but that wouldn't work.
No.
If I could cast sending, if he could describe the person, or I could see the person through my owl.
How are you willing to risk your owl being seen? All I'm
I
going to
mean,
do is
yeah,
roll a
I
perception
don't-
check.
I wouldn't. I don't think I would. Really think too much about it. I guess.
Roll a stealth check. I will roll perception.
Never mind.
Yeah, that's not gonna be too good.
This is gonna be bad.
Owls should have
11.
pretty decent stealth. I think they get like a +6 or something crazy.
Owls get +3 to stealth, so that's an 11.
I rolled a 10. So, you can confirm that the uniform they're wearing are very familiar gray tabards.
Yep.
So what?
That's kind of what I was worried about.
So that means they're bad.
They're the gray.
So what do they do the moment they see Atari?
They don't see him.
He rolled a 10.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Oh,
Atari gets just close enough to be like, that's important. And then you communicate that, and then you get that information and he flies away.
all right, cool. I've got a plan, guys. I'm gonna tell them what I see. I'm gonna take out a couple of.
Stop.
Your Camelot dagger. And I'm like, could open another portal.
I'm gonna take out a pitten, and I'm going to tie a rope, the end of my rope, around the pitten. I'm gonna give it to Atari, and have him fly it up, and basically just wrap it around some of the board of some of the wood of the ballista,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
that like I give it a nice tug, and
You giving it a nice tug would snap the ballista in half.
oh,
No,
okay,
I'm just
so
kidding.
I don't give it a nice tug.
I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. This giant tearing of wood on top of the wall. Everybody looks over.
Fool
No,
of
it's done. Atari's able to lift the pitten. I think it's pitten. He's able to lift it. He's an owl. He flies it up, and he's able to drop it through one of the holes. He picks it back up and drops it through again. He picks it up, drops it through, wraps it around one of the arms of the ballista. And as you pull on it, the ballista does turn so that it's angled so that it can hold the weight, because you can see it's on a pivot. But you feel like it's secure enough to hold the weight of you.
Okay. I am going to motion to Barrow and have him climb it and take another rope with him to kind of double down on it.
Sure. To make the rope a little thicker, to intertwine them.
Does that
Barrow,
sound good to
you're
you,
not doing
Barrow?
this in any kind of combat scenario, so the DC is much lower, but I would need you to roll an athletics check to climb 50 feet of rope.
Would we be able to do the monkey knots to gain advantage?
You would
The
have
monkey knots is where you do you just tie knots in a rope.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You would have had to have done it beforehand.
I mean, in the new rope.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I'm.
I think it's short. It's
advantage.
short.
I will lower the DC again, but
That's fine. That's fine.
go ahead and roll an athletics check.
I'm gonna, before I do that, say, all right, can you help me out a little bit here? And I'm gonna touch my shoulder and cast guidance.
Very good.
Does it work?
Yes.
Do it work?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I was concerned that there was going to be a severed connection there.
Well,
Tis not.
Awesome.
well.
Oh, I do have a +4 in athletics. So that is 17 total.
17. It takes you a little bit. Your hands start to blister. The skin comes off in a few spots when you get near the top, just because the rope, the coarse rope against your palms over and over and over again is just tearing your hands open.
I was
Despite
looking
the
for
several
more-
calluses you already have,
looking for a little bit more help than that.
you didn't fall. And you make it to the
But
top.
did you die?
But did you die? But you make it to the top. You can see into the city. You can see like the warm glow of torchlight slowly moving through the streets below you.
So I can see people moving on that level.
In the
Okay.
first tier, you can see like groups of the guards moving as they were described to you. You can see like warm torchlight moving through the streets.
Okay. I would like.
Very much like a Splinter Cell mission where they're like in the roads and you'd have to like navigate away from the lights. Like
Oh, so they're far enough away where I'll wait until I can see.
I'm gonna cast guidance on myself again, and I'm gonna roll a stealth check because I don't want to be seen.
Okay.
And while he's up there, I would like to motion towards Amora
Yes.
and kind of usher her up, and I'll give her a little bit of guidance too.
Very good. Okay.
Yeah. When I swapped out my spells, I took guidance as one of them.
Nice. I like it.
27 on stealth,
So what is guidance?
and Barrow starts putting knots
Okay.
in the rope.
So what is
Guidance gives you a +4 to your ability checks.
Wait, am I still putting knots in the rope?
1d4.
I don't
What
think
did I
that's
say?
Oh, wait, yeah, I thought you had already done it. Sorry. When you said you were rolling a stealth check, for some reason I thought you said you were rolling, I don't know, a check for the rope. I'm still waiting for that second rope to drop.
Yeah. It's done. You tie the rope, you lower it down, you have something better to grip onto, Amora, something to put your feet on as you're moving up. It's a lot easier, but you still have to roll an athletics check because it is 50 feet of rope.
Yeah, it's still quite terrible. I rolled an 8.
Okay. So you're starting to sweat. You get about 3/4 of the way up and you feel your arms are about to give out. And you kind of freeze there. And your forearms are burning.
Am I able to try and pull her the rest of the way up?
You can make a strength check. Yeah.
Even
Cool.
Edvar.
I'm gonna send a message to her to take part of the rope and lasso, like kind of put it around her waist as kind of like that thing that mountain climbers do.
Yep.
And I'm gonna go.
Small man.
Guidance.
Oh shit!
Hi guys.
Nope. So it's just straight strength, not athletics.
Yeah.
Small man.
That'd be a 5.
So, Amora, you're starting to feel the sweat dripping. The lactic acid in your biceps and forearms is just completely setting them on fire. Barrow starts pulling you up, and Barrow, you're like, man, why is this so hard? You realize I'm exhausted from climbing myself, and my hands still hurt a whole lot. And as the burning sensation in the bare skin that's been exposed rubs against the rope, you let go. Amora, that falling sensation jars you for a second. You spin because it's wrapped around your waist, and you start to plummet about 30 feet.
I'm gonna try to catch her.
What kind of check is that? What kind of check is that? I'm not catching check.
All I was gonna do was react and go like this and cast fly on myself.
You can do that.
That's like would be my reaction.
Okay, so you cast fly. And
Nope.
okay, very good.
18.
So you stop and you pat yourself for a second, and you are able to kind of coast yourself back up and softly set yourself on the top of the wall.
I'm like I send a message. I'm like, you couldn't have led with that.
Well, I'm gonna go get Scythe.
Good
I-
call. So you fly down.
Or I could have turned myself into a potted plant hanging by,
Oh, good. You smash into 1,000 pieces.
and I would have died instantly.
Maybe. But you pick up Scythe, and you were able to fly him up and put him on top of the wall.
He's quite large, so
That's fine. Fly allows you to pick another medium-sized creature along with you.
He's not that big.
Oh, I was
He's a
thinking
wolf.
he's like
Yeah,
large.
he's like now, as we've seen in the videos that I've sent, wolves are pretty damn big.
Yes.
Okay.
But you can
Like,
pick it up.
I never used to have like an idea of like how big they are. They're scary big.
yeah. They're awesome.
Which makes
Okay,
direwolves
wait,
even
over.
scarier.
Yes. Direwolves are the size of
Wait,
horses.
where's Bean?
Yeah, I was just about to say, Victor Bean looks up at you and is kind of like with this face of, I don't want to ask, but could you? And you fly Victor Bean up, and on the way, he's like, I really appreciate this, but let's pretend this never happened.
I'm giving them the same look that I gave Barrow when he was using the lift,
The pulley?
the pulley system at Dry Gulch.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Oh,
I just kind of do one of these numbers.
dazzling.
You just shove your fingertips into the stone and just start scaling the wall itself. Yeah. No, you use the rope, you climb up, absolutely no issue. Roll an athletics check for me, please. It is 50 feet.
Guidance as well?
If you did so,
Ah.
you did not guide yourself.
I meant to do that, but that's fine. That is a 16.
16 plus your, it's hard for me to ask you to do strength checks when you have this belt because the belt itself gives you a strength of 29. There aren't too many things that you can't do with the strength of 29. So you all the way up. You actually go sideways at one point.
Yeah,
I'm matching,
you
like-
probably could have carried all of us up there, like Fezzik in The Princess Bride.
Yes.
I
Now,
mean,
I
that's
don't know if the
kind
ballista
of,
would have held all of you. It was smart of you to do it one at a time because the ballista probably would not have held. But
yeah.
You make it to the top, and you guys are all on the top. How long does fly last, Amora?
10 minutes.
It's still up. If you guys want to descend, you can move the rope to the other side, bring it up, and flop it over.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the last to go down though, so I'm gonna kind of like tend the rope at the top.
Okay. Yeah, you can, hold on, make sure it's
Honestly,
secure.
I think it might be easier if I shimmy somebody down first.
Oh, like them holding the end of the rope, and you're just like letting it go.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I will need for each of you going. Who's gonna go first? Amora?
I figured
Well,
I
you
would
fly.
down, and then I can take Scythe and I can take Bean if he asks me nicely.
Victor is, I'll just go with the rope. And he grabs the end of the rope, and he'll be the first to go down. As you lower him, he just kind of holds on. You hear him humming a tune to himself as he's going down. Just all the way down. He makes it to the bottom safely. Amora, you do. Scythe makes it safely. Barrow,
Yeah, I'm gonna climb down.
do the rope. And then Hadvar, you do the rope as well.
Yes.
Now, are you leaving the rope? Ropes, plural.
I can grab them.
I'm gonna take the one for sure.
When you go down, I can go
Yeah,
back
I
up.
want my robe. I like my.
Okay.
I can
Or do you go back up and untie it and just...
tie it from the ballista,
Okay.
and I'm gonna gently, if I can,
Reposition it. Fine. Yeah.
put it back.
Good. So you do that. You have both of your ropes. You guys are all at the bottom on the inside of the wall.
Is there any ammo in the ballista?
Each ballista has 3 to 4 chests next to it. with large bolts that would sit in the ballista. Each of these bolts are made out of iron with steel heads.
Does it look like it would feed?
No, it's one at a time. They would have to crank, place the bolt and fire it. Crank, place the bolt and fire. It is not a machine gun.
Damn.
So I'm gonna just message Barrow and Barrow. Should we try to take the ammo from these things? It might help us later.
Each bolt is about 10 pounds.
Oh, and there's like a chest full.
And there's a chest full of them. You'd surmise there's probably about 50 per chest.
I don't think I'm going to be able to carry it, but
Just push them off.
No.
I mean,
Or disarm it in some way, or block it in some way.
well, I think they're more to defend the city rather than like shoot.
Into the city. They were all pointed out. I'll say that. They were pointed out of the city. They were not pointed into the city.
Oh, okay. Then never mind. Never mind. I'm gonna go back. I thought they were pointed towards the.
What kind of city is this?
Well, now that we know that the gray are there, I don't.
Fair. No, they have not manned the ballista against the city. Woof. That would be horrible. Noted. So now that you guys have scaled and went down, you could see that there are entry points on the back. There are steps periodically that lead into. I should have mentioned that. You could have taken stairs down. Sorry. There are steps that lead into the ballista wall where there is access to the cannons that are halfway up as well.
I walk up the stairs just so that I can walk back down them again.
Okay. Done. And someone does see you. No.
All right.
Yeah.
So, in all of our haste to get, here and through the shield and over the wall and finding out that the Grey are here. Now, forgive me if we've already gone over this, but who are we looking for?
I don't think we're looking for anybody.
And there's no contact.
Nobody's.
We don't have a contact here.
No, because when I
All we
contact.
know is that the Grey are here, and what do I know about Dry Gulch? Do I know anything about, like, is there any open hand?
Battleborn?
Battleborn?
Yeah.
You said Dry Gulch. Battleborn.
Oh, sorry.
The Dwarven monarchy is patrolled by. There's a Dwarven royal guard that stay with the king at all and queen at all times. The Paladin Order of Bahamut, their home base is in Battleborn as well, and they kind of patrol most of the city alongside the Open Palm.
Anthony,
Yes.
I just thought of this.
Yes.
You mentioned that Queen Chara?
Chera. Like a chair.
Okay. Well, I'm just so used to hearing you say Ciara.
It's spelled Ciara. It's Irish, yeah.
You mentioned that her name was defaced.
Yes.
Does it look the way that it's defaced? Does it look familiar in any way?
No, it was just scratched. It was on a metal plaque, but it was defaced as if someone had taken a dagger or sword or some other implement and just scratched.
Does the scratching look similar to the statue that was in oh man, this is going way back. In the temple at Craghammer with the Yavapai clan names?
No.
Okay.
It's defaced as if it would be defaced in any other way. I mean, there may be some similarities just because it's scratched out.
Okay.
And there's no gold statue at the bottom of this thing.
No.
Damn it! I really wanted to find somebody with a bowl of soup. All
So
right.
you guys are in the city. There are several houses, residences, after you go into the city. Shops. Some have lights on inside. You very well could run into any of these patrols. They are not hiding themselves at all. You could wait for any of them to patrol by to get a better look at them, either stealthily or head on.
Guys, before we go any further, stand right there. And I'm going to cast Pass Without Trace.
Very good.
We've done that before, but oddly.
Okay. So what
Amora,
is that?
your fly has worn out.
Yes.
What is that? +10 to a stealth?
Yes.
Yes.
So if you guys are going to move through the city stealthily, please give me some stealth checks.
Ooh, that's pretty good. To 26.
Are you fucking kidding me?
And 21 for Atari.
Okay.
21
Oh,
for
wait.
Barrow.
Oh, wait. What did I say? 19.
That's with a +10.
27 for Scythe.
Amora.
19 with the +10.
Okay. You guys make your way through the city. What are you trying to look for? Where are you wanting to go? Do you want to head to the second tier? Do you want to scope out the first tier a little more?
I kind of want to check out some of the houses that have the lights on.
Okay. I think maybe, perhaps, before we do that, I kind of feel like we should check out one of these patrols and possibly subdue them and find out some information.
That face.
Just because, now hear me out, if this place is in a state of martial law, we go banging on doors, we're going to arouse suspicion, and we don't know who to trust, but at least we know who not to trust.
Well, Bean, you're a master of faces. Would you be able to look like one of those guys?
I reckon if I got a picture of one, I might be able to conjure something up.
Maybe he would be able to at least talk to someone, or at least pull them aside.
Here's the other question. We need to sleep soon, right?
I thought we already rested. We rested.
Pretty well rested.
You guys have fully rested before today.
Yeah, I think we're okay.
Well, I mean, just because it's like nighttime. You know what I'm saying?
You still have, before you would have to start looking at points of exhaustion, you still have a good 5 hours to noodle.
I'm just saying maybe we keep an eye out for a place that looks like it would be a good area to hole up.
I think that's fine, but I think we need to scout out one of those smaller scouting parties, take them down, find out what they know about what's going on here, and then move on. Because right now we have no idea what's going on.
What if they have some sort of way of
Like an alarm.
communicating with each other that we don't know about?
Because maybe
Like we take them down, but they let another patrol know, or
our friend Bean here could charm one of them.
like maybe they're trying to, their friends are trying to message them on sending stones, and they're like, "Yo, bro."
I feel like we're getting ahead of ourselves. Maybe we should at least see what they look like first. Perhaps they're not what you think they are, just because they're wearing these tabards.
I say we stare. Did I see any of them kind of patrolling when I was looking at Wasega, patrolling the outer wall?
No,
Oh, damn.
nobody's outside the city.
No. I'm sorry. The outmost wall, like on the inside of it, though, like walking that.
When you were looking, a lot of them were in the inner workings, like patrolling the actual streets.
Okay. All right. Well, I'd like to send Atari up anyway to kind of like show me the nearest one.
You can see there is a pocket of 5, and there's a pocket of 2 that are closest to you.
I say we move towards the pocket of 2, and at least try to get a look at them. And if we have to, I think I have like 12% of a plan.
I'd say that's better than a 0%, if nothing else. A plan's a plan. I think we should go with whatever we got.
Just gonna try to stay out of sight, and I will follow whoever.
Why don't we just do a little scouting ahead then? I know we're going to be a little quieter, but perhaps we need a little more than that. And he gives a wink, and he goes, "Dong," on his banjo, and the whole party is invisible.
Dope.
I dig it.
So I will mark that off. So you guys can roll with advantage as you approach the group of 2. Give me one more stealth check.
How long is Pass Without a Trace for?
And Pass Without a Trace is still active.
1 hour. Going to, since I've been rolling like crap, I'm going to guidance myself.
Sure.
Thank you for advantage.
Victor Bean got a 31 stealth.
Hadvar. Kyle, does Hadvar have heavy armor on that gives him disadvantage on?
No, I have the Agora armor. Agriel.
That's right.
The Living Forest tree armor.
Cool.
So I now have a 30 stealth for Hadvar and a 25 for Atari.
Very good.
I have an 18 stealth.
Okay, that was with advantage?
Oh, wait. No, 18, 19, 20, 20. 22. I'm sorry. With advantage.
Okay.
35 for Barrow.
Very good.
And not great. 15 for Scythe.
With the plus 10?
Oh.
25.
Yes.
Question: if I were to remove something from my pack and then throw it off my person, would it become visible?
Yes.
Cool. All right. I would
Depending on what you are doing. No, I don't think it would break stealth. Unless you're attacking somebody, It's not going to break stealth.
Nope. I just want to put something somewhere.
We'll get there. You guys make your way through the city. You can see a lot of these. Everything seems to be made out of rock or stone. A lot of these squat, square buildings that house a lot of these dwarven families. 2 stories, most of them, interspersed between a lot of businesses here and there. You see a lot of stonemasons. You see a lot of blacksmithing. You see a lot of odds and ends for just custom built armor and weapons with different kind of engravings or different kind of filigree and different kind of stylings. It's not so much there's a lot of product that is of high quality. It's high quality work on products that you may bring to them. They have this uncanny ability to work with already forged weapons and armor to be able to instill them with a statement piece, or be able to add to them to make them look better, or be able to change or mold them to fit better, or a lot of these masons that are here and blacksmiths that reside within Battleborn have this these shops that have this ability to customize, as opposed to just knock out generic armor. They are more tailored, more or less. You walk through these streets and you can see down the block and around the corner a warm glow start to come into the intersection as you guys hide behind a corner of a building, very Scooby-Doo style, with each of your heads poking out. as silence can be. You see two dwarves exit wearing the gray tabards with the studs along the sides. Darker skin, darker like olive tones on their skin, large beards that come down to their mid-chest, braided. You see one of them carries 2 daggers on his belt, and the other one carries what just looks to be a great club on his back. But they both hold torches, and they're both scanning left to right for anything that may be out and about.
Do they look undead?
They look like dwarves.
Oh, well.
If there's an ability you want to cast to check that, you can do that.
But they don't look like the undead.
There's not skin falling off and teeth showing, and no, they look normal. They look like dwarves.
This is a regular invisibility, right? Like if I cast a spell or do anything, I'm going to break invisibility.
No. This is an ability from his banjo. Everybody has greater invisibility.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, I would like to use my presentation. I just want to create a sound away from us to just get their attention. I just want to see what they do, how they react to a sound.
One of our owls.
I got a ball bearing.
What sound would you like to do?
I just kind of want to go, boop, boop.
So nothing natural, not a normal sound that would have been from anything, but a boy boop. And
I don't know why I said that.
What's the range of boy boop? I think it's only 30 feet.
I think it's 30 feet. Let me double check. Oh, it's only 10 feet. I thought it was 30 feet. Well, that's less good.
All right. Knowing that, I'm sure you probably would not have done something that close to you.
No, I would not.
Okay.
I mean, eventually, or I'd have one of our owls take the ball bearing
and drop it.
Or you can throw it, you know.
I can.
How far do you throw it? As far as you can, and in what direction?
I feel like I want to throw it where they came from.
Like back down that alleyway?
Yeah.
All right, give me a dexterity throw.
Guidance.
Ooh. Man, Shitster's millions tonight.
You need to get rid of all of your D4s.
Should have had Hadvar do it and throw it clear across the freaking
Just go.
city.
You see a little in the sky.
Is it possible you can snipe that way?
It's a 12.
You throw it. What you wanted to do was get it over and behind them. But what you end up doing is throwing it at their feet.
Oh.
And it goes, and they both stop, drop their torches, and they both draw their weapons immediately. They look to see what it is, and you see them follow the ball bearing and look in the direction that it came from, which is your direction. And they start heading towards you.
I would like to, at this very moment, reach into my pack as I back up.
Yes.
And I'm going to take out my necklace of blinding and drop it onto the floor right in the center as I back out. So that when they get there, they see a necklace.
Okay. So do you all back away or at least spread out?
I'm going to follow his lead.
Okay.
And I'm going to back out, but I'm also going to take the gloves of bound hands, and I'm going to leave them on the ground there as well.
Okay. They're just going to start donning all this new equipment. All right. So you guys back away, considerable distance so as not to alert them. They descend on your position relatively quickly. They were about 50 feet away. And they're able to walk up and they turn the corner and they have their weapons out and they're scanning. And their eyes fall on you, Hadvar. And you look down and you can tell you're still invisible. And he looks at you and he squints. And he looks down and sees the necklace and the gloves. They pick them both up and they start talking in Dwarven, which...
Unless I cast a spell. Are you short, man?
Tell me none of you know Dwarven.
Unless I cast
None of us know
a spell.
dwarfing.
Wow. So they speak Dwarven. You have no idea what they're saying. They speak to each other in Dwarven for a moment.
Who
They
did
pick up the
know-
items. Huh?
I said, you know who did know Dwarven?
Men.
Men. Yep, men.
I feel like it's a bad idea if I cast a spell right now.
Victor Bean is a dwarf, so there's that.
Don't know why I didn't think of that.
Yeah, I didn't think that either.
He speaks Dwarven. So they speak to each other, they pick up the items, and they continue down the building trying to find where the ball bearing came from. There's no call, there's no alert, the city, there's no alarm raised, but these two are on heightened alert and they are searching the area for you. There's a couple of times where they start walking towards you. Thankfully, with your stealth being as high as it was, you're able to slowly get out of their way as they move past, and then you relax. But they're searching the area that you're in now, looking for something.
And their mannerisms don't seem...
Everyone give me a perception, please. Scythe does not get one, and neither do the owls, just the players.
22.
6.
Okay.
18.
Okay. Amora. You're the one where they almost got close to you. You had to like flatten yourself against the wall just so they would pass. There was a stench of decay that came off of that guard as he moved past you.
Is this a very similar feel to the undead dude that was in that bar?
These, similar, yes. But these two that are walking around, you don't know he's undead, only Amora does. But for the player information, these are almost non-discernible. They look like dark-colored dwarves. They're not gray dwarves. They're not like underdark dwarves. They're just darker skin-toned dwarves. But there was this waft of decay as he passed you.
So I'm going to cast message, the cantrip, and just as quiet as I can, like, and I'm gonna just pick arrow and be like, I'm dead.
I'm going to message quietly as well, but to Victor,
Okay.
and say, hey, since you're a dwarf and I knew this the whole time, what did they say? And this would have been like right after they spoke.
Okay.
Or like, yeah.
They know we're here. They're just on high alert. They're just saying that to search the grounds, essentially. They just want to find us. Just stay quiet. Stay out of their way. They'll leave soon. And about 5 minutes pass. They're searching the area, and they continue pushing in their search. They look like they're doing with only two of them, it's hard, but a grid search of some kind where they're scoping out every inch possible in the direction from where this ball bearing came. They picked up the gloves, they picked up the necklace, and eventually they leave.
What did they do with the necklace and gloves?
Looks like they pocketed them.
I'm going to send a message to them, hey, I want my shit back. Not to them. Not to.
Oh.
I mean the party. I'm sorry.
How
All right.
scary! They're free.
We're not gonna make them think it's haunted. The streets are haunted. Ooh.
Yeah. So they're out of the way. You guys are still invisible for another period of time. You don't know.
So, I mean, I'm going to tell Barrow and I'm going to relay this to everyone that they are undead. And they stink. So
Well,
bad.
that's unfortunate.
Should
That
we
means
kill
that
them?
there's probably every guard in here working for my old boss. I don't know how high up this goes. I don't know where the other residents are in this city. Seems unlikely that they're all gone.
The town's running somehow. It can't.
I don't think we're going to find out until morning. It doesn't seem right, though. Why is this city so quiet? This is one of the largest cities on the continent. You would think that it'd be bustling all times of the night. And where are the paladins? How did they... It doesn't make any sense. These paladins should have been able to hold their ground.
I think they're all dead.
I don't know about that. They might be. I don't know. Good riddance. All right.
Maybe we do find ourselves a place to sleep. Let's start looking at these houses and see if we can find an empty one.
And you can't see Barrow's head nodding, but you can hear his hair rustling against his hood.
Okay. So another minute passes and you all become visible.
Ooh. I hope we were being...
You're still being stealthy. You
Okay.
just don't have advantage anymore. But as you go around, you find one residence without a window. As if the shutters are no longer there. It's just an opening in the house. And it appears to be abandoned. If you'd like to crawl in. This is about 4 blocks from where you were, deeper into the first tier. It's a 2-floor structure, but there's only 2 rooms on each floor. It's a relatively small abode. If you'd like to climb in, you can do that. Victor does. He just...
Yeah. Well, I'll hop in there.
I think we should sleep on the top floor.
Yeah, I think that's probably the right choice. They'd be able to see us otherwise. I wouldn't want them to walk by and peer in through this window here.
Well, do we want to? We can put the dome up here. I mean, if we're all staying in a close space.
Why don't we do that on the 2nd floor, though?
That's on the 2nd floor, and that way, if someone were to search the house when we're sleeping, I would say before we go to bed. Oh, crap, are those both? Those are probably both.
Those are probably both concentration.
No. So I would want to put alarm in the front door, around
Oh, the window?
yeah, all the windows.
Now, are you doing that as a ritual?
Ritual. Yeah.
Very good. Okay. The
And
house
then-
has been alarmed. There is at one point in time, as you're casting this spell, a roving band of 4 guards walks by, 3 dwarves and 1 human. You guys cease movement completely. You're all on the 2nd floor. Amora, you're the only one that's downstairs. And as you see them and hear them coming up, you obviously hide. You go around a corner or whatnot. They dip a torch into the house to check it. And they continue onwards. Very, very much North Korea, Nazi Germany moment where, they're patrolling and it just has to... And you notice the whole city is just so quiet. It's irritating. It's unsettling how quiet such a large space is. It's a ghost town. For the magnitude of this city, there should be some noise at some point in time from somewhere, and there's nothing. You guys are on the 2nd floor of this house, and you cast alarm, you cast the dome ritual spells, and you bed down for the evening. You all, point of order here, you all get a long rest. You do not get your spells back.
Oh, shit.
I didn't cast any spells.
Cantrips, obviously, nope, there's no penalty there.
No.
But your spell slots do not regenerate on a long rest.
But
Awesome.
Fly didn't.
Interesting.
So pass without trace, fly, detect that was a ritual.
Good recall.
Well, shoot.
May answer where the paladins went. Without their magic, and Victor kind of points that out where he's playing his banjo very quietly. You actually notice inside the dome it's muffled and whatnot, and he's playing it, and he makes the comment, I think this magical barrier we on pass through suppresses magic of all kinds. I don't feel right. I don't feel at my full strength. I'm assuming what happened when this town, this city, the paladins may or may not have fought back, but once they ran out of their magic, they didn't stand a chance. It's a numbers game at that point to Orcus. There's always more dead than there are living.
I just had a really scary thought.
Worse than what we're in?
Yeah, I think so.
Hit me.
So, if I'm right, and everybody here is dead, what would be the point of having patrols?
I don't think they're dead. I don't know what to think. I don't think everybody's gone though. We saw lights in some of the houses. There's people around here. I don't know if they're all undead. I don't know if they're on our side, their side. It's about like 8 in the morning right now.
I guess we'll have to see if we see people out. But what I'm afraid of is that the dome's there for people to pass through as kind of like a
trap,
a magnet for life, and it's creating a death army.
Well, we weren't drawn into it. We were just stupid. We just walked in.
Right, but I mean that's pretty much like all life.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
I mean, at least Phineas knows we're here.
I don't think he does.
He takes out a string of vanilla bean and starts sucking on the.
No, because I contacted Phineas before we got in here because I was asking information and I let him know that we were on our way to Battleborn. So he knows we were on our way over. It's not like so nobody. Yeah, at least he knows that we're on our way.
I don't know what that's gonna do though. I mean, we
sure
can't talk to him.
No, but I'm sure he would get the idea if he's trying to contact me.
You know, it's one thing to know what happened to the city here, and I don't know what the other tiers look like or what the people look like, but I'm mostly curious about what the monarchy looks like. If the whole city's been overrun, are they even still here? Are they running this place?
Yeah, I was thinking that same thing.
I mean,
I say,
what's the better option? That they're still here and they're with Orcus, or that they're dead and Orcus is ruling?
Well, Orcus is in.
Orcus is in the 9 hells at the moment.
Yeah.
I thought he was in Wizard.
The big scary guy that we told you about that's Wizardton right now.
That's just one of his generals.
Yeah.
Wizardton.
Yeah, that thing was kind of scary too.
Yeah, I don't want to tussle with that until we're ready.
So how are we going to get through without protected?
Well, I'm
I
going
think
to
see, there's
send
still-
Atari out to kind of scope out the spot and like kind of just like try to see what's going on. Like, are there people rustling about? Are there?
You send Atari out. He goes up. Make a perception check.
That's gonna be 18.
He sees the patrols still roaming around. They look identical. You get the feeling like they don't sleep. They just walk. It's about 8 in the morning, and Atari stays out for as long as you want him to. 8:30, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, still guards. 11 o'clock, noon hits. And all at once, doors to houses open, and the city comes to life. You see all of these people leave their homes, enter their shops, and there's just this raucous noise, a boisterous laughter and playing of kids running through the streets. People are setting up their wares. People are opening their stores. People are in the streets talking and conversing with one another. The whole city comes to life, and everybody is out of their houses, and it's just teeming with life.
Okay, two things. Are the guards still out during this time?
Yes.
And are anybody other than the guards have armed? Is anybody else armed?
Or in gray tabards.
With an 18 perception, nobody else has a gray tabard. I'll say that much. Everyone is dressed normally. They're not in armor. They're just clothing. Nobody appears to have weapons. Now, not all weapons can be seen. So, if somebody's
Like
concealing a dagger or concealing,
Basically, I'm trying to see, would we look out of place with my sword and staff across the back?
Yes. Nobody else is armed.
Gotcha.
Does it seem like a town full of dwarves, or is it all manner of creatures?
No, it is heavily dwarven. I'd say the ratio is striking. It's about 80% dwarf. And then there are halflings, humans, gnomes. Rarely is there ever a tiefling or a dragonborn.
And no half-orcs.
No half-orcs in this city.
Wow. So we're really out of place.
No elves either.
Yeah.
Are any of these normal people near us?
As Atari is flying around, people are gonna start walking by this house like crazy. The whole city comes to life. People are walking, moving carts around. You see oxen pulling carts of foodstuffs and mead and ale, and they're going from place to place. And
I think
I sense that they're getting close, I'm gonna pick up the medallion and I'm gonna hold it in my hand and I'm gonna say, "Are these people undead?" And I'm gonna sense undead
out to a range of
60 feet.
You catch 3 undead, and as you very carefully look in the direction, it's 3 guards, but everybody else is clean.
Are they wearing Are their garb? Like, are they wearing more like peasant garb? Or
Commoner's clothing. Trousers, regular tabards, linen shirts, dresses. Like medieval dresses and whatnot. Pretty conservative wear. They look like normal folk, and they look like they're going about their day.
Are there dressers in this house? Like people left.
You could find a shop that sells clothing.
Well, I mean, in the house that we are now, does it look like there are like leftover
Oh, like a piece of furniture dresser.
Yes.
On the second floor, yes. The first floor was cleared out. There was only one sofa downstairs. If you go up, you are upstairs. It's a whole bedroom, and there are dressers there.
I'm thinking we could try to blend in a little bit better by wearing something that we find.
Well, I can help with that.
But
I can disguise us for a period of 8 hours. Now,
Yeah, but we may need your magic later.
it's the only problem. That's our only problem here. Is it? Once I do it, I can't do it until we leave this place, and I don't know how to get out.
Listen,
I can make clothes the better option.
I don't want to walk around without my banjo.
probably. I mean, you're.
I can disguise us so it doesn't look like we have anything on. Well, let me rephrase that. Unless you really want it to. And he like kind of winks at you more. He's like, well, I don't know.
Barrow kind of like edges his way in front of her.
Sorry, no, I meant no offense, but I came out wrong.
Guys.
You see Safe, like, his lip just curls up a little bit, like, all right, I can disguise us however I want, so it looks like we don't carry nothing on us threatening. The only problem is that it's an illusion. If anyone touches us, they're going to know right away. I'm afeared that they might find out one way or another, but it's the best chance we got. I'm not leaving my stuff here. And if you leave your staff, if you leave your swords, you don't really carry much, girl, but, if we leave all of our stuff behind, we got no way of getting ourselves out of trouble.
yeah.
That's a problem. Here's a thought. What if we want to get into trouble?
Do the people look like they're avoiding the guards as they're rustling and bustling about, or do they not even care that they're there?
No, I mean, like, you can only do so much surveillance from the house secretly. You like peek out one of the blinds at the top on the second floor.
See?
Oh, that's right. You have Atari. People are giving the guards a wide berth. There's a very heavy intimidation from the guard presence amongst the people. And you can see people have these like weird, like they seem lighthearted enough. And as soon as they get around the guards, there's an obvious intimidation, but they keep their smiles plastered on like everything's fine.
Excellent.
Nice to see you. And they walk by and they hurriedly leave the area of any guards.
Excellent. I'm going to turn to Vanilla Bean and I'm going to say, I like where your head's at. And I'd like to see what happens. I'm going to poof back in.
No, just wait. You already did it. That's just him saying, "Oh no."
I'm gonna poof.
Atari back in.
Atari.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna have Atari make a scene.
Okay.
And it's gonna be a pretty drastic one. So I need you guys ready to make it.
How about you tell us what's going on before you just do it? Because it could go one of two ways here, right? So we can get in trouble, we get arrested, we go to prison, been there, done that, not fun. Other side, we cause trouble, they try to kill us, we end up killing them. Now we have the whole city a-bustling. We got the whole army of Orcus coming down on us. I'm not trying to die here today.
But if we take, here's what I'm thinking. Let's kill these guys.
I like that plan, but I don't know how to get away with it.
Here's the thing. I don't think these people want these guards around. So I don't really think that they're going to rat on us. So if we could take them out, yeah, we're going to have everybody up in an uproar. But in confusion, mistakes happen. Maybe we could slide right in. I have Atari create a diversion away from where we are. We move into position, create the diversion, get everybody to come down to where we're at, leaving the second and third tiers open for our exploration.
Well, now, we only just realized that this town had life to it. Don't you want to talk to some people?
I think we should talk to at least somebody first, and then maybe try to kill those guards maybe at night. Maybe try to see what's going on.
Let's just take it one step at a time. First off, what do y'all want to look like so I can ask this?
I do want
I'd like to look like a human.
That's probably a good choice. I'm going to stay looking like me. I'm just going to make my banjo go away.
Could you make my staff look like a walking stick?
I'm going to make it look like you don't got nothing on you. Just keep everything holstered. We're not going to hold nothing. Don't give us away. Nobody else is carrying nothing out there.
But if you made me look like a feeble, you know what? Never mind. I'm not charismatic enough for this. No, that's fine.
Have we seen any halflings in the city?
Yeah, not a lot of them. Again, mostly dwarves. The second most would be humans, and then halflings and gnomes are present, just not in abundance.
I'm just afraid to say, Vanilla, make me look like a dwarf, and then I don't speak Dwarven, and that's going to be bad.
Sure.
So I guess
not speaking Dwarven in the Dwarven monarchy city itself is a problem, regardless of how you look.
Yeah.
So there's that. But
yeah.
Dean is going to cast Seeming on everyone. Hadvar's going to look like a human version of his half-orc self, just, a burly-looking man. Amora, you're going to look like a human female. Same hair color, same everything, just pink skin, Actually, no, he would probably make you just a black human female. Just shorten the ears, soften the face, make it rounder, just make you look more human, but keep your dark skin and everything. That's not uncommon.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks at you, Barrow, and he says, you looking to change it all there, fella?
Yeah.
Why don't I do him first? And he plays another little lick on his banjo, and Scythe looks like a large mastiff as opposed to a wolf.
Okay. I guess
that's the boy.
Shorter hair and just like big bushy sideburns instead of my beard, and then
we can do that without magic, you realize, right?
Yeah, no, but nobody touches my beard, so.
Well, all right, I'll help you out here. And he plays his banjo, and he trims the sides of your head, and he gives you one of those big, flippy doos.
Yeah.
But he gives you the same facial hair that he has, the big mustache and no beard, just a very large handlebar mustache. I think you look great.
That's a good look, Barrow.
You feel, and you still feel your beard.
It's a
Do I have sideburns? I can't tell. Do I have sideburns?
You look fine. Let's get on that.
I grab the mustache, but every time I grab the mustache,
it just goes through. I mean, you grab his mustache periodically, and he goes, "Ow."
All right. Okay. All right.
And oddly enough, when he goes to pet Scythe, the proportions of the Mastiff are so close to being identical that when he pets Scythe, it looks like he's petting the Mastiff, which is good.
Yeah.
So you guys wait for an opportunity where nobody's directly looking at the house. Just roll a generic stealth check, getting out of the house to make it inconspicuous. Being got a 22.
I got a 6.
14.
That'd be a 26 for Barrow. And that'd be a 23 for Scythe.
As you guys get out, Hadvar, your foot catches and you make a thump, you clomp your way out of the window. You don't like fall, you just catch yourself. You do like a skipping. You bring a little attention to yourself. There is one person that noticed you, and it looks like a common dwarf. He looks older, gray beard, trimmed very neatly. Black in the center here, gray on the sides, black mustache. He has long hair that's pulled back in a very tight ponytail that goes all the way down to his lower back, and it's braided all the way down. And he looks hard. He looks hardened. You can see scars on his face, and he's just very built, but he's very old. You can see that he's lived a very hard, long life. And he just stares at you, Hadvar.
Everything in this town is built too small. Ugh.
His eyes just kind of squint, and Victor leans over and says, "Not your smoothest point in the day, but let's be on."
Is the dwarf smiling still?
He was not smiling.
No, he's not smiling. He's like giving him
Squinting. I said squinting.
Right, but you said like everybody's like,
Oh no, this guy's noticeably like everyone else is like enjoying their day. This is their time outside, and everyone seems to be enjoying themselves. And this guy just looks, I'm not going to play the part.
Oh. Is he still staring at me?
Yeah,
Hadvar.
uncomfortably so.
Hadvar.
I'm going to stare right back at him.
And he just waits. He just watches you. He's in the middle of the street, and he just trying to figure you out. He can see something is different.
What shops are around me?
You take in the surroundings. There's a food store that's selling produce. There's like another restaurant as far as restaurants go. It's not an inn. They just do food. They don't do bedding. There's a couple other custom shops for clothing, for blacksmithing. Pretty menial things on this first tier. It seems like common stuff. Are you looking for anything in particular?
No. Actually, yes. And I'd like to walk right up to the angry-looking dwarf, and I'd like to ask him where he knows where I could get the strongest pint of mead.
He crosses his arms. Oh, you'd be looking for mead at a time like this.
Every time is a time for drinking mead, especially at a time such as, what'd you say, this?
How long have you been here, friend?
Well, long enough to see that this town ain't really what it used to be, huh?
No, it ain't.
You don't
Curious,
seem-
I should say. I've not seen your face before, or your friends.
Neither have I. Sorry.
Barrow's just like looking around, and he's just like smiling.
It's so weird.
He spoke to you in common fluently and immediately. For
Yeah,
what
we're
it's
not.
worth.
We're not really around from these parts very often. I take it
Right.
you know everybody?
I know most. I've been here longer than most of the city, and your face is new to me, friend.
Can I
Tell me,
look out
how
while
new are
this
the
conversation
faces
is happening?
what's that? Oh,
Can I be looking around while this conversation is happening?
Yeah.
Just want
Roll a
to see
perception check.
if, like, there's anybody watching, or yeah.
and how new are the faces of your lovely nighttime, daytime guards.
Aye, they've been here longer than we'd like them to be. That's for certain. Not as new as yours, but perhaps we're looking to change things. Aye?
Maybe we could talk over that pint of mead.
He looks up at the sun. Pharaoh, you look around. What was your perception?
10.
Life seems very normal. And if you interact with anybody, everyone greets you with a smile. Everyone is happy to be out. Roll an insight check as well. Amora, you too.
Oh. Terrible roll. 7.
That is 19.
In the few conversations that you overhear, Barrow, people have this air of, boy, isn't just life great? Another day outside. Oh, God, help me. Kind of like this very fake, I have to pretend to enjoy my situation as much as possible, almost completely out of fear.
Does it? Okay. And without.
Amora, you don't get that. That's just Barrow.
Oh, okay.
How far away am I from Hadvar?
About 40 feet away. Let me continue that conversation.
Okay.
I could use a pint of air. It doesn't sit well in my stomach.
I could do ale. What are my vibes off of this guy? Like during this conversation,
You can roll an insight check on him. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to see, like, is he really being genuine about his distaste for these people, or do I get the sense that he had, like, that weird look at me? Was that, like, trying to figure me out, or, like, for good or for bad? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Ooh, that is a 16 on the die. Ooh, 24. 22. Wait, yeah, 22.
He's dissatisfied with how the city has gone. He made that clear. He is not going to play the games that everybody else does. And he's trying to feel out, seeing a new face here, if you're going to cause trouble or if you're going to help or if you're a spy, he's really poking you as much as you're poking him right now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, he wants to get a feel for me to see if I'm
trying to get him in trouble, maybe. You know. Yeah. So he looks up at the sky, he sees the sun, he says, "We all got to be back in at 4. I can tell you, the Wingless Ferry is a nice place to be after dark."
Okay.
Wingless Ferry?
Mm-hmm.
I guess save me a pint of ale then.
Aye, we'll have one poured. Your friend's coming too.
We'll be there.
You wave and he just gives this very disgusted, like, ugh. Too cheery for my taste.
Now, as this conversation is happening, I would like to glare over at the, like, kind of like side glance over at the guards.
They're gone at this point. They're gone. There are no guards here. I would have mentioned that for Barrow's perception.
Okay. Dope.
And you see him turn and give you one last look over, and he stops. And he looks behind at the 4 of you back there. And he puts out his hand.
I give him a shake.
And he looks down and he sees the illusion. His hand passes through yours a little bit and shakes your hand. He goes, "Aye. We'll see you at the Wingless Ferry." And he saunters off.
I will turn around. Hey, you guys find anything out? Anything maybe where I think we should get some potions. I think think we have something for tonight. I think we should find some supplies.
Do we think that they're actually going to be selling anything like that here?
I don't know. But we have potentially something to do. But it's got to be tonight. We've got to get, and I'm going to like look around and send message to each of them individually about where we're going to the Wingless Ferry.
Send one of our owls out just to try to find the place.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, why don't I do that? I can ask around. I don't have too much trouble with the folk, the common folk, anyway. And he's going to try to roll a persuasion. General, yeah, buddy, that's a 27. So,
does he have rustic hospitality?
No. But I rolled a 19.
Oh,
so it helps. And he's a bard. So he ends up asking around people in Dwarven. He speaks to them directly in Dwarven. And he gets a lot of compliance. Some of the things worth noting is that people are noticeably nervous when they talk to him. You can see sweat appear on their brow or on their upper lips. Any kind of joking banter that you're familiar with Victor doing, there's a almost offensive level of joy from any jokes. Like really guffawing at his jokes and like overbearing. It's like, oh wow, these people are putting it on thick. You eventually find the Wingless Ferry along with several shops that there's one for alchemical needs, there's one for herbal remedies, and there's one for poultices. To save you time, because it's getting late, you go into all of them. There are no magic items for sale. A lot of the store owners are almost of the mindset, why would you ask for something like that? Nobody needs these things anymore. And they like grit their teeth like, you're going to get me in trouble if you keep asking for crap like that. So you can see this very like two-faced society happening. And based on what the mysterious older dwarf told you is that they're only out for 4 hours. Everybody goes in at 4 p.m.
So what does it seem like they sell? I mean, since all these shops are open, is it more
topical creams? They have potions that help with like hair growth. They have potions that help with like coffee, like energy. They have potions that assist, mundane things. Nothing
I'm gonna buy a potion of hair growth.
Oh, fair enough. Sure. Smells like piss and ink when you open the bottle. It's a Sweeney Todd reference. So you buy a hair growth remedy. It's supposed to be put on once a day for a week, and that would deplete the whole bottle. But they recommend that you buy a month's worth for it to actually.
I was thinking like.
That's how they get you.
No, it's very, very minuscule. If you want to buy something, they're happy to sell it to you.
Unless they have some cocoa butter, I think I'm good.
No cocoa butter. You find a lot of these smiths. They keep mentioning the name. Oh gosh. Oh no. Stand by. Oh man, this is a deep cut. I didn't have my notes ready. I'm not dead yet. I'm not dead. I'm fine. I'm happy. I don't know where my folder went. Oh my gosh, it has all my super important stuff. Oh gosh, what is her name?
Stuff on the computer.
Huh?
Don't you have your notes on the computer?
I wish I did. This is not any of my notes. This is actually something from a backstory, but there is mention of the Hammerthorn family multiple times from the Smiths. you're familiar with Captain Ariana Hammerthorn, the captain of the Garden Wizardton.
Mm-hmm.
But that Hammerthorn name keeps coming up.
Is that what you were searching for, Hammerthorn?
There's
Or
a
like
first name. There's a specific first name that I can't remember. It's a different smith specifically that they say, oh, but if you want some fine wires, you go to Master Smith so-and-so Hammerthorn. I'll get the name to you guys later. But they keep mentioning this name.
Is this someone related to the little girl?
Yes, it is the little girl. The young girl that founded Smokeless Coal.
Oh, not Ursurus little girl.
That's the same little girl.
Okay. All right.
We need to find her.
Curious.
They keep pointing us toward this person.
They just keep dropping her name, saying Master Smith Hammerthorn will get you what you need for sure. When they kind of get the vibe that you're looking for things that are
Battle.
Do we get the same vibe from them that I got from Old Man Dwarf? Like,
no, you get the same vibe from
something?
them that you get from the other shop owners. Very timid, like, if you keep asking me, I'm gonna get in trouble. But there's this connotation of dropping this name under the radar, like, oh, Master Smith Hammerthorn will get you what you need if you're looking for something else. Blah blah blah.
Okay, I gotcha. Kind of like hitting towards if you go around back, you can. Gotcha.
Yeah. An implication that there's other things at work that
Yeah.
maybe should not be. And contrabanded items such as health potions or magical weapons or anything of substance. Everyone keeps saying, we don't have that here. No, not in my store.
How much time do we have left until 4?
2 hours, I'd say, after all of this is conspired.
Okay, so we got time to actually find this Hammerthorn?
I'm gonna speak the last person that drops her name. I'm gonna speak to them telepathically.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, don't freak out. Where can we find the Master Smith Hammerthorn that you just told us about? They can't hear you. No one can hear you except for me.
And then they kind of take the second to respond. Me. They take a second to respond, and you don't see their lips move. This is one of the smiths. Ours an underground movement against the king. Master Smith Hammerthorn is leading it. The Wingless Fairy is where we meet. It's an underground keep.
How do we get there?
It's a tavern here on the first tier. It goes underground. It goes into the mountains. Nobody knows about it yet.
Okay, if we wanted to meet you there, can you tell us how we get there?
Aye. It's closer to the second tier, but you go up, and he gives you the directions. You go up the street, go around there, blah, 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 blah. You get to the door and you say, resistance is nigh. That'll get you in.
Yes. Okay. And you said a resistance to the king. Did something bad happen to him? Is he different now?
I don't be able to explain it to you tonight. It's not my place.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
And you see him just kind of like, it was the first time that he was able to like speak honestly. So he's just like, sits back.
What kind of wares is he selling in the shop?
Mundane trinkets and odds and ends. You can see like cups and goblets where, as opposed to selling armor and weapons, he's been forced to make china and, ornate cups and
Perfect.
silverware.
Thank you very much. I'm going to get this one. And I hand him a coin, and I just give him a very expecting look, and I take the thing and I put it in my bag.
Much obliged. Much obliged. Thank you for your business, all of you.
You literally just saw me.
Yeah, I know, but it looks kind of cool.
The one that you have has like these. It's a tin cup.
Okay.
But the inside is silver, so it's cleaner. So you're not drinking out of tin. And the outside is engraved with dwarven runes, markings. They're not actually magical. They're just reminiscent.
Cool. How much was that?
1 gold.
Cool.
You said you handed him a coin, so I'll just say you handed him a gold, and that covers it.
Cool.
You guys are able to leave this place. You find the Wingless Ferry. It's a tavern like any other, and on the front it has the Wingless Ferry written on a swinging wooden hitch in front of the shop, and it has a picture of this like pixie that's holding 2 mugs of ale, and you can see like she has this really like big smile on, and her eyes are closed, but she doesn't have any wings. She's just kind of like she's smashed, you know. But there are saloon doors that you can enter.
Yeah, I'm gonna go right on in.
Are there any
There's
like outside or any guard like patrolling the like?
You still see patrols. Yeah, you still see patrols navigating around. If there's any point in time you want to interact with them, feel free to. No, okay. No, we're good, thanks. Okay, so you go in. It's relatively empty. You can see that the place is not really taken care of. A lot of broken stools, tables that are actually just like sitting on the floor because they're missing a few legs. But you see one human male behind the bar just wiping things down. Oh, we're about to close soon.
I'd like to walk up to the bar, and I would like to take 10 pieces of gold and set it on the counter and say, how much for a room? Or
sir.
no, I'm going to say, how about a room? Sorry. How about a room?
Oh, sir, we haven't had anyone stay here in years.
Sounds perfect.
I don't. And he like looks over to one of the other employees, and you see a female dwarf come out and look at you and say, "What's it to you? Why do you want to stay here?"
I don't want to fight. I just
I come up to Hadvar and I put my hand on his arm and I go, "Resistance is mine."
getting to
This little like husband and wife. Stop it! No, I wanted to say it. No, I'm getting to that. You see both of them like give you a look like, oh, like. And he nudges.
I mean, I whispered
You
it.
should have done it telepathically.
It's daytime, so things are not supposed to be out in the open right now.
Oh, sorry.
So you see the dwarven female just kind of give you a head nod to the back of the tavern, and there's a door that looks like it would go to a restroom.
No, I don't need to use the bathroom. I want a bed.
And she's just like, "Ugh!" Like she's not gonna say anything, just very obvious.
Walking back there, and he's actually like starting to untie his trousers because he's like, I do kind of
have to go. So
I'm gonna keep my gold there. It's like that's for my room. As I walk to the bathroom,
and you see the man take it and start sorting through and counting. You guys enter the restroom area, and it's a trough for peeing in.
All right, cool.
And there are two they're not like commodes. They're just like holes, but they're raised a little bit that you would either just squat over or just kind of, it'll get in there eventually, kind of a deal. Smells pretty awful in here.
Lovely.
Pharaoh positions himself so that Amora can't see, and he just.
As you're peeing, there is a large on the back wall, and you see the stone loosen a little bit
Well, that's not what you want.
and shift to the side just
There's
enough for someone to be able to
Audience
peek
of
through.
people watching
I
Pharaoh
do,
eat.
I do the Tommy Boy thing as he's running alongside the car.
So, oh god. But you see a wall depress and move to the side, much softer than it should. The stone, typically stone grinding on stone would cause a loud grinding. This seemed to displace and slide.
Okay.
But you guys make your way to this opening, and there is a staircase that leads down.
Is this where the rooms are?
It's just, I think so, Hadvar. I think this might be where the that other dwarven fellow you spoke to might be. Perhaps later. He did say after sundown. We came here rather early.
Yeah, my plan was to sleep until sundown, but I guess we're doing this now.
I'm just rolling with it like you are. Let's just. I'm gonna. All right. And he goes down first.
I'll go down second.
You guys make your way into this tunnel, and as soon as Scythe follows up the rear, the mechanism slides and closes into place. And you hear a voice, awfully early for the meeting.
Do I recognize the voice? Listen.
It's like pitch black in here.
Wait.
Only a little.
I was like, listen, I only came because I was looking for a place to lay low until nightfall. But your guy upstairs, I was gonna take a nap and.
Oh, it seems like you know what we're about. Lead on.
Wait, is that a different voice?
No, it's the same voice. Lead on.
I can't see anything.
So am I gonna do that?
I have dark vision. Does Hadvar have dark vision?
Amora, you can see a live halfling with a large top hat, and he has a very trimmed mustache and beard, like just a goatee. And you see he's holding a rather ornate cane. It has like a jewel at the top of it, and there was a stool just on the other side of this false door that he's sitting on. And he just kind of points with his cane. Lead on. Down the hallway there.
Okay. So I like.
You might want to be heading down.
Yeah, I'm going. Kind of just like.
Remind me for seeming. If I remove a weapon, does that drop the appearance?
No.
So I'm going to pull, and I'll say, don't worry, I'm not trying anything here. I just can't see. And I'm going to pull my sword of sharpness out.
Okay.
I'm going to make it shed light.
What's your command word?
I don't know. I don't remember at this point. Lumos.
Yeah, okay, so you emit the sword light down the hallway. You can see it's a very purposefully masoned, curved stone archway that continues down the stairs and continues down as far as you can see. It's just a giant hallway, and you start walking for a while.
And Bean is with us. He didn't disappear. Okay.
Yep.
He hasn't disappeared.
And as you guys make your way down this hallway, that's where we're going to stop. And we'll see where it ends up.
I dig it.
Yeah, it's good
That's
stuff.
it.
Good stuff.
So my plan earlier was I was gonna cast Dragon's Breath
Oh,
on.
and
On
just have
Atari.
an owl breathing fire everywhere.
Yeah, I was gonna kill those 3.
Well,
See what
you were gonna
happens.
try to kill those 3.
I was gonna try. Yeah, I was gonna try.
You don't know how hardy these guards are, but
Yeah, I was gonna find out because like we were gonna be hidden. I was gonna have him attack and then pop him back into his pocket direction. Yeah, just kind of get a test of what they do.
Yeah.
That was
All right,
my.
well, this will happen hopefully again next week. We'll be able to try to do this more often now that everything's relatively back to normal.
I will say that until August, I am going to be in and out and in and out, like a week here, 2 weeks there.
Sure.
We just have a lot of stuff that we have to get our ship ready for. And then once August hits, it's going to slow down a lot until December. So
All right, we'll make it work until then. I mean, I'll keep posting days, and if you're available, you're available, and if not, we'll pick a different day. Simple as that.
I will be unavailable the last week of January. Just
So next week potentially could work depending on what day it is.
Yep.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll find a day for us then.
Cool.
Cool. Good job, guys. You didn't die. You're stuck in Battleborn, and there seems to be a lot more going on than originally anticipated.
No.
This military occupation.
You think we're stuck in here with them, but in reality,
You're stuck in here with me. All right. Have a good night. I'll see you guys soon.
You too.
You too.
See ya.
Bye.
Feel better, Kyle.
Thanks.
Bye.
See ya.
All right.